Major gang takedown in Queens. 12 people arrested. Let's tune into the video, y'all. See what's going on out here in these streets.
We're here to announce the indictment of 32 reputed gang members as part of what's called Operation Shadyville. This is the largest single gang takedown in the history of Queens County. It is the second largest gang takedown, which included different gangs, also from this administration, which was about 3 years ago. This is a 97 count indictment against, like I said, the single gang called Dgotsauce Ball-Out Gang, which is made up of both self-made Mac ballers and 5-5 neighborhood Crips. We have charged a total of 13 incidents of gunfire, 13 fatal shootings, 2 non-fatal shootings, 8 shots fired incidents that did not strike a person. 14 out of the 32 of the defendants are in fact shooters, and there are 6 individual victims, 3 murdered by gunfire, 1 struck by the car driven by an innocent man who was shot and killed by the gunfire, and 2 non-fatal shooting victims. This violence spanned across the borough of Queens County. It was in Queens Village, Hollis, Jamaica, Fresh Meadows, Kew Garden Hills, St. Albans, and Cambria Heights. Approximately 17 firearms.
I'm gonna just say something real quick. You would think by now, like, people would be like, I ain't joining the gang. Gangs are pointless. It's only two things that's gonna end up happening in the gang. You're either gonna die or you're going to jail. You would think by now people would be like, you know what, this ain't for me. At least normal people. This is the saddest thing, man. It really is. It's trash. The culture is trash. And then they're gonna go make a rap song out of it, like it makes it even better.
Which you have before you were seized during this investigation.
We allege,
honestly, that these defendants have become the most violent gang in the borough of Queens County, creating fear and violence throughout this borough. The defendants are variously charged with murder, conspiracy, weapons possession, related charges. All have been charged with at least conspiracy in the second degree, face up to 15 years. Others have been charged with conspiracy in the first degree. They face over 25 years to life. 6 of the defendants are charged with the conspiracy in the first degree. Like I said, one of the highest charges available to law enforcement today. 23 of these defendants were apprehended yesterday morning by our partners in the New York City Police Department, while 6 of the other defendants were already incarcerated on other matters. 23 of the defendants were remanded or held on high-dollar bail in court yesterday by Judge Holder and Judge DiBiase. We thank our partners in the judicial system for their efforts. 3 defendants remain unapprehended. 6 will be arraigned at a later date. We allege that the leader of this gang is called Dgotsauce, who goes by the street name Shady. He was responsible for arming and organizing local teenagers. He also gave permission to gang members to shoot rivals. The group primarily operated from Dgotsauce's home in Queens Village. And remember that Queens Village is a quiet residential neighborhood. They called it Shadyville. I refuse to give up the neighborhood. It's called Queens Village, where he stored, procured, and distributed firearms. Many of the individuals charged in this indictment live in Queens Village. For the last 4 years, members of Dgotsauce gang have been in an ongoing feud with their perceived enemies, Top Op Macballers, 5th Clack, and BG4. The groups are battling for territorial dominance in Southeast Queens, and it was common practice for Dgotsauce members to travel.
They're battling for territorial dominance that they don't even own house or the land or the property.
Are you out of your French toast mind?
These people are dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb. Where's the fathers? Where's the mothers? Where's the uncles that can talk to the kids? Where's the community leaders? Where's the Black Lives Matter? Where's the riots? Why are we not disgusted already? I'm so confused. Why are we not disgusted?
Geographic territories controlled by rival
I hate
gangs
this stuff.
in
I really
vehicles,
do.
on scooters and bikes, and you know we have a large initiative on the scooters,
I hate
and
it.
they seek out rival gang members to target for shooting. The defendants also called this practice spinning the block. They would seek the rival gang members by spinning the block, and many acts of violence were typically precipitated by taunts on social media. There are also social media provocations meant to lure rivals into bad code territory so that they may be targeted for the acts of violence. Make no mistake, this group didn't care whether they were shooting in busy intersections, whether they were shooting by schools, playgrounds, or very near residential homes or apartment buildings. After the shooting, it was common for members of the gang to brag about their exploits on music videos posted on YouTube and other social media platforms. There's also a number of daytime shootings associated with bad code.
Tell me, man.
Think about what
Make
the
songs
daytime
about it.
shootings bring. Think about
They
people
brag
walking to
about it.
school, coming from school,
They smoke
seniors
their
going to
hops.
senior centers, doing your shopping. One defendant's
bro.
exploits were so well known that his nickname was Broad Day.
God.
Broad Day, for the number of broad daylight shootings he participated in.
That's
The violence
really-
associated with this group is truly staggering.
that's
I'm going to
the
highlight
way
a
to
few
do
of those incidents for you.
Broad day,
On
'cause
March 25th, 2022, multiple
there's a shooting in
defendants
broad
planned to
daylight.
shoot a rival gang member outside Cardozo High School. Defendant Sean Chang, who was known as Broad Day, went to the school at dismissal time, and he fired multiple rounds from a .380 caliber semi-automatic pistol, and it struck the rival gang member. This shooting happened at 3 p.m. On June 7th, 2022,
Ain't mad
a
about
teenage
kids.
girl was preparing for her upcoming Regents exams in her home on 113th Road near Francis Lewis in St. Albans. This teenager, a student at Bronx Science High School, was sitting in her living room on a quiet residential street. Three of these defendants, including Shady, in an attempt to murder a rival gang member, fired 23 rounds in the immediate vicinity of her house and struck the girl in the leg. Fortunately, she survived. You'll see, we have a video of this, and you will see multiple muzzle flashes in this video. By the way, in this indictment, it is 3 fatal shootings, not 13, like I said. So 3 fatal shootings in this indictment. In November 22nd, just a mile from where we stand right now in Kew Garden Hills, these defendants conspired to murder an 18-year-old gang member named Mark Green. At least 5 individuals gathered outside North Queens Community High School next to the Queen of Peace Roman Catholic Church on Main Street. Defendant Jeff Joseph, whose street name is Havoc, and Shady approached Green. Havoc took out a loaded gun and killed the 18-year-old. This shooting, by the way, happened as well at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, in the middle of another residential neighborhood. Just a few months later, on January 20th, 23, a then 14-year-old defendant known as Shifty fired multiple rounds outside the New Dawn Charter School and Early Bird Educational Center in Jamaica. I'd like you all to just remember who goes to those schools, very young people as well. This shooting happened at 3:50 p.m. On May 20th, 24, 2 of these defendants, Emeka Anodu and a 16-year-old, spotted a rival in the McDonald's at the busy intersection of Springfield Boulevard and Linden. Both defendants fired multiple rounds into the McDonald's.
Into the McDonald's.
And miraculously, no one was injured.
Into
This
the
shooting was
McDonald's.
again in broad daylight at approximately 3 p.m.
Broad daylight did that
In
one.
the upcoming video, you will see the perceived rival in red,
This is sad, people.
standing outside the McDonald's.
Absolutely
The defendants
sad.
congregate in the parking lot, spray the restaurant with bullets. Pay attention to the glass window as you watch the video.
Mad innocent people, dog.
3 o'clock.
They
in the
don't
afternoon.
care.
Perhaps
So
the
why
most
should we
tragic
care if they
incident
don't
was
care?
associated with this, in this case happened on September 16th, 2024. A then 15-year-old
Why should we
defendant, after getting into an altercation with a rival gang member near Popeyes on Farmers Boulevard, produced a firearm, pointed it at his rival, and fired the weapon multiple times into the intersection. At that same time, an innocent motorist, not involved, innocent motorist, 66-year-old William Alcindor, was driving his Nissan Rogue eastbound on Baisley Boulevard. The 66-year-old was shot, struck by gunfire, and lost control of his car, which crashed into a 23-year-old woman who was sitting on the sidewalk. Mr. Alcindor died from a gunshot wound to his forehead and 2 in his chest. The 23-year-old woman suffered a head trauma, a collapsed lung, and is still having mobility issues due to the lower body trauma she suffered in the crash. The next video, I warn you, is very disturbing. You'll see a perceived rival pass the defendant on a scooter. The defendant produced a weapon and fired across the intersection. After the gunfire, look at the right corner of the video. You'll see the Nissan that Mr. Alcindor was driving crash into the building at the intersection and hit the innocent pedestrian.
Let me watch that.
This is this is the very definition of senseless violence that produce innocent victims as well. People have nothing to do with this. The members of Badco were not just targeting rivals either. On January 27th, an adolescent offender who goes by the street name Lucky allegedly took it upon himself to execute another Badco member, 20-year-old Ike Anadu, whom he believed to be a criminal informant. The victim was invited to the filming of a music video in the vicinity of 86th Drive. The defendant lured Ike to an apartment complex with no working cameras in the vestibule and shot him point blank. Handed the gun to his co-defendant, Seth Mignon, to dispose of the firearm. The gang members apprehended in this case very much knew that they had heat. They knew that we were actively investigating, and they made sure to try and cover their tracks.
Of course they
Our
did.
message today is, if you think you can run and hide, think again. You can't. We will find you. We will prosecute you. And we will remove you from the streets long enough to ensure public safety. We have an extraordinary Violent Criminal Enterprise Bureau here at the DA's office and an extraordinary partner in the New York City Police Department. And every single day we think about how to make the streets safer of Queens County for the people who live here, play here, go to school here, go to their mothers and fathers here. They should be allowed to do that in safety. And if you're a gang member who is targeting other gang members or each other, there's going to be innocent victims. We will not allow it. We will.
Listen, man. Shout outs to New York for trying to keep their streets safe. I don't blame them one bit for trying to get rid of this nonsense in their streets, man. Nobody wants to see this. Nobody wants to live in an environment like this. It's a whole lot of evil, man. Real talk. At the end of the day, it's a whole lot of evil. It's a whole lot of evil, man. And you know, justice will be served, man. Too many people dying in these streets for no reason, honestly. Talking about they're shooting over territories that they don't even own. Like seriously, man, this is whack. This is whack. And I know a lot of people they say it's not easy. You know, it's not. They can't just come out. They can't just change the leaf. They can't just get a regular job. Like you got to do whatever it takes. You got to do whatever it takes, man, because this is not the position or the life you want to be in. You know, I know people that got swallowed into this behavior. I know that. I've been around it. You got to do whatever it takes, bro. Whatever it takes, man. Especially if you got kids. If you got kids, like you should already know better. You should already know better. You know, it's not always people grow up in the best environment. I understand that, man. But once you see it turning left, once you see it, you have to start protecting yourself a certain way, or you got beef with people that you just get out of there. Honestly, get out of there, man. Let me know y'all thoughts, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate y'all viewership, man. It was a very interesting live. I mean, not interesting live, good live, man. And I hope that y'all enjoyed it. Make sure you guys hit that like button on your way out. Hit that subscribe button too if y'all are new, man. Until next time, it's your boy Dgotsauce.